What happens when a silly donkey finds a lion's skin and decides to play a big trick on his friends? Find out in our funny story. The ass who wore a lion's skin, where a bray can give away the biggest secret. Little Rusty, a gentle brown ass, loved to explore the forest on sunny mornings. The air was fresh and smelled of pine needles as he trotted along a winding path. His small hooves made soft thuds on the earth. Suddenly, he spotted something unusual peeking from behind a mossy rock. It was a large, shaggy lion's skin, left carelessly by a hunter. Rusty blinked his big, curious eyes at the golden fur, wondering. Rusty had never seen anything like it before. It was so grand. The lion skin was much bigger than he was, with a fluffy mane and deep claw marks. He sniffed at it cautiously, the scent of the wild animal still lingering. An idea sparked brightly in his playful mind. What if he could pretend to be a brave, roaring lion? It sounded like a tremendously fun game to play. With a giddy chuckle, Rusty carefully pulled the heavy lion skin over his back. It was warm and a little itchy, but it covered him perfectly from head to hoof. Now, only his small gray ears poked out from under the huge mane. He tried to walk, feeling lumbering and powerful just like a lion. His tail wagged a little, hidden by the long fur. He felt like a magnificent beast, ready for an adventure. Rusty decided to play a fun game with the other forest friends. He found a thick, leafy bush, tall and wide, near the animal trail. With a mischievous glint in his hidden eye, he slowly crept inside. His heart thumped with excitement, waiting for someone to pass by. He imagined all the animals' surprised faces when they saw him. This was going to be the best game ever. Soon, a graceful deer, much taller than Rusty, trotted innocently along the path. She had soft brown fur and delicate legs, nibbling on some juicy leaves. Rusty took a deep breath, puffed out his chest, and burst from the bush. Roar! He tried to sound like a lion, but a muffled "Ho-ho!" came out instead. The deer gasped, her big eyes wide with fear as she saw the lion. In a flash, she turned and bounded away through the trees, her tail a blur. Next came a tiny, fluffy brown bunny, hopping merrily along the forest floor. He was much smaller than Rusty, twitching his nose as he searched for sweet clover. Rusty waited patiently for the perfect moment. Then he jumped out again with another roar, this time a bit more confident. The bunny squeaked loudly, its ears flattening in terror. It darted away so quickly, a tiny blur disappearing into the undergrowth. Rusty watched them all run, feeling a shiver of pure delight. He had never felt so powerful and important before in his life. The lion's skin swished and swayed with his every proud movement. He puffed out his chest even more, feeling like the true king of the forest. This game was much more exciting than just munching on grass. He couldn't wait to scare more animals with his grand disguise. Ee-haw! Ee-haw! A loud, joyful bray suddenly escaped Rusty's lips. He simply couldn't hold in his happiness anymore. The sound was rough and loud, echoing through the peaceful forest. It broke the silent spell of the lion's intimidating roar. Rusty clapped his front hoofs together in pure delight. He was so incredibly proud of how well his trick was working, and couldn't contain his excitement. Just then, a sleek, reddish-brown fox, about the same size as Rusty, was trotting merrily by. He had been running away like all the others, with swift, silent paws, but when he heard the strange bray, he stopped short and cocked his head. That's definitely not a lion's roar," thought Finley the fox. He turned around, his clever eyes gleaming with curiosity, and decided to investigate the peculiar sound more closely. Finley the fox cautiously padded closer to the thicket where the sound came from. He saw the lion standing proudly, still wearing the big skin. A chuckle started deep in Finley's throat. He could barely hold it in. He walked right up to Rusty, whose heart was now doing a nervous flutter. Finley winked slyly as he looked at the furry disguise. "Well, what do we have here?" he playfully asked. Finley burst into a fit of laughter, his bushy tail swishing with glee. The fox, who was a little bit shorter than Rusty usually was, looked up at the disguised ass. "Oh, you magnificent creature," Finley said between giggles, wiping a tear from his eye. "If you had only kept your mouth shut, you might have tricked me too." Rusty slumped a little, the excitement quickly fading from him. His grand disguise was no longer a secret. "But that silly bray of yours gave everything away, my friend," Finley continued, still chuckling softly. "No king of the forest sounds like a little donkey." Rusty felt a little blush spread across his hidden cheeks. His ears, still peeking from the mane, drooped even lower. He realized his mistake. His words had spoiled his perfect plan completely. The clever fox had seen right through his costume, and his secret was out. Slowly, Rusty began to shrug off the heavy lion skin with a sigh. He emerged again as his usual, gentle brown self, feeling a bit embarrassed. Finley the fox sat down, his bushy tail curled around him. "It's true, Rusty," Finley said gently, his voice kind. "Your words always show who you really are." Rusty nodded, understanding that he couldn't pretend forever. It was better to be himself than to try and be someone he wasn't. Rusty learned a very important lesson that day from his clever friend, Finley. We can sometimes dress up or act like someone different, but our true selves always shine through. It's like how Rusty's loud bray showed he wasn't a fierce lion at all, but a sweet donkey. So always be true to yourself inside and out. Being honest about who you are is the best disguise of all, and makes for stronger friendships.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.